Welcome and thank you for joining the first SCPTA program's how-to session. The goal of these webinars is to give ideas on new programs you can offer at your school. We don't just want to share an idea, we want to walk you through how to host these events. Before we get into it, I want to put it out there. If you've hosted something awesome at your school and you want to share with others in our state, please reach out to me so we can work on putting together a how-to session. When you share your ideas and successes, you can empower other PTAs to be as successful as yours. The beauty of empowering others is that your own successes are not diminished in the process. So let's help each other grow. And speaking of helping others grow, thank you to Mary Kate Ward from Span Elementary PTA. She hosted this amazing Bingo for Books family night, and she has shared all of her tips and tricks with us, and she is ready to share it with you.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight to learn about our Bingo for Books family event that we hosted. This was actually a really easy event to pull off, and it had pretty minimal cost, which is wonderful. That's what we like, just an event that will have, a great value that's pretty cheap and easy to run. So how do we do it? Again, this event was pretty minimal effort, and it can run kind of as long as you would like it to run. We had our event for about an hour and a half. We start around 6 p.m. and go until around 7:30. Typically, families start coming around 6, and then we give them about 15 minutes or so to get settled in, get their supplies, get seated, get snacks and drinks or pizza if we have that. And so we kind of get started, between 6:15 and 6:30. You don't need a ton of materials for this kind of event. You obviously need bingo cards. You can choose whether you want to use reusable ones, or some people even get like the paper ones. You'll need a way to mark the bingo numbers. If you use the paper ones, you might want to use like the dauber markers or like highlighters or markers to mark things off. If you want to go reusable, you can use some sort of like chips or markers. We use dried beans because they work great. They are very cheap. And, if we lose some, it's not a big deal. So they were really easy. We got some small little cups, little plastic cups or paper cups to hold those markers, and you can portion them out before the event. And so families just get a little cup of markers. So it's easier for them to hold, not lose, and to turn back in at the end of the night. With Bingo for Books, your prizes are going to be books. So you're going to want some signs to label your book categories. So at the end, when your winners go up, they can kind of figure out what category is going to work best for them and what kind of book they want to get. Back with Bingo, you're going to kind of want to decide how you do your bingo night. If you have a large screen and internet capabilities, you could do a virtual bingo session. That's what we did. So we have a large screen in our cafeteria, and I have a link that I'll show you a little bit later on in the presentation for a virtual bingo board. And you need a laptop with internet connection to be able to do that. This made it really easy, and our families could see it. If you don't have that option available, that is also okay. You can use bingo cards. You can buy like jumbo bingo cards, or you could even use like a bingo cage that you kind of turn around and it puts out a little ball with the bingo number. Those are perfectly fine alternatives that you could use. I'd also recommend having one of these options available as a backup if for some reason your internet went out or the screen doesn't work. You can still host your bingo night because you have that backup that doesn't need technology. You're going to want a microphone so that everybody can hear your caller, and also some sort of setup like a table and chair for your caller to be up there with. Volunteer wise, you really don't need a lot, maybe 3 to 5 people. You're going to need at least one person who's going to be your caller, but you could also have multiple callers throughout the night. And this can be a fun way to get like your principal or your teachers involved in the night. Some people do like guest callers. And so even if they just call a few sessions or a few rounds, it's a fun way to get them involved. You'll also need 1 or 2 volunteers to go around and check cards when somebody says that they get bingo. And then finally, you'll want, again, 1 or 2 volunteers to monitor your prize table so that when winners come up, they can help them make book selections, and just keep an eye on that area. That one is probably, if you don't have enough people, that's not necessarily one you need, but it's good to have if available. Now your prizes for the night. That's the great thing about this, is that they're books. And if this event is open to families, you kind of want to make sure that you have books geared to all ages, because you may have winners that aren't just your students. You may have some of their younger siblings. You may have teenage siblings or even adults. So if available, try to get some books that kind of would go to any of those audiences. If you are looking to save money on this, prior to the event, you can ask for donations of new or gently used books. So have a book drive. Make sure after you get books that you review your donations prior to the event, just to make sure that they're in good quality, they're not falling apart, there's not writing all in them, and also the appropriateness of the books. Sometimes people are just trying to get things out of their house, and so you just want to double check and make sure that there's something that you'd like to have. It also helps to sort them into those categories. You could have things like board books, picture books, chapter books, or easy readers, teen and adult. And that just helps that whenever your winner goes up to the table, they can kind of figure out like, oh, this is kind of my area, or what kind of books I would like to look at. And it may not be quite as overwhelming as just having a big table full of just a whole assortment of books. So prior to the event, you're going to want to make sure that you've got your supplies purchased. Decide if you want to buy your own books, or and have new books, or if you want to ask for donations. Make sure you get those invites out early to your families and really promote your event. Also test your technology if you're going to use it. It's always good to test before the night of. Event day, you don't have too much setup. I'd recommend having your volunteers get there only about 30 minutes before the start of the event, so that you can set up that caller table with a laptop and microphone, and then other bingo supplies if you're not going to use the laptop for the electronics. Set up a supplies table where your attendees can come in and pick up their bingo card and their cup of markers or beans. You're going to want to set that prize table area with the books and label your sections. And then kind of wait to begin playing your games until most of the crowd has their supplies and they're seated and seem ready to go. We used a really awesome online tool called Bingo Masterboard. And this is what it looks like. You can see, and this would be projected to the group. It's got, every time you draw a ball, it's going to light up and show you what that is. And then you can also see all of the numbers drawn, so that if anybody is wondering, oh, I missed that one, or trying to check, they can see it all right in front of them. And this is a free online tool. So you'll just want to make sure that the website isn't blocked by your school's internet if you're going to use it. The website itself has, these are how to on the website, but just some of the basics. There's a section over on the left where you get to choose the pattern. You'll have it randomly draw the ball by clicking that button. And then there's up at the top, there's a reset where you can clear the board to start a new game. It's also, you can see it's like color coded to help families know which letter each number goes to. Now, when you're running these games, you can play them all kind of the same, or you could switch patterns. So I'd recommend starting with traditional bingo rules, things that people know, which are 5 in a row, 5 down, or diagonal wins. People know those. Play a couple rounds. Have your potential winners raise their hands, wait for that volunteer checker to come review their card before they go to the prize table. And then you can either have them clear their board after each winner, or keep playing until you get 3 to 5 winners per round. Especially depending on how many books and prizes you have, getting more winners quickly isn't necessarily a bad thing. And they're winning books, which are great things for everyone to have. So then after a few winners, you may want to choose to change the winning pattern. The Masterboard has a lot of different options that you can see down there. A lot of these are ones that I didn't even know existed. But some popular ones are things like 4 corners. I like the letter T, so it's just a row in the column. Down the middle, you could do a plus sign, which are the middle column and the middle row. Or even blackout is pretty popular. And a lot of people, I think, kind of do those toward the end of the evening where you're trying to get the whole board covered. Now the prizes. So here we had a ton of books donated. So all these books that we're showing were from our book drive. We still have enough this year to use again for Bingo for Books this year without, I think, having to ask for too many donations. So winners will get to come up to a book table and have the opportunity to select a book of their choice from the prize table. And we've got them categorized. You can see we've kind of got like a teen section near the bottom. We have adult books. We had a ton of picture books and board books. So there's that younger book section is really large. So again, at the end of the event, if you have plenty of extra books, one thing you can also do is let everybody take home a book. I think we let people take home multiple books, but that is an awesome way that, that again, you're promoting literacy. Everybody is happy at the end that they get to take something home. And don't forget to ask your participants to turn in their bingo supplies for reuse at future events, because that again is also going to cut your costs and make it easier to throw this event in the future. Thank you so much for considering this program at your school.
Thank you so much, Mary Kate. So I just have a few questions. How long did it take to organize the prize table?
I think it took us a couple hours. We worked some the week before, kind of organizing and sorting our books. So I think there are probably 3 or 4 of us. We took about 2 or 3 hours to sort through our books to see what we had. And again, it depends on how many books and donations you're getting as to how long that would take.
Okay, so you sorted ahead of time, and then the day of, like, because it looks like you hosted in a cafeteria or auditorium or something. So setting up your prize table day of, how long did that take?
Not very long. We had somebody helping us with that, one of our volunteers or maybe a couple of us, because setting out our supplies was pretty easy. So, once we had them sorted and organized based on the type of book, once we kind of got those in those locations, that was mostly just pulling them out and setting them on the tables.
Okay, and then you had what looks like a ton of donations. Was that all just from parents, or did you go to like the library or anything like that?
Most of it was from parents and families. We did, I think I got a couple adult and teen books, but I'm talking 15 books or less that we would have gotten from somewhere else. Otherwise, it was from families. We posted it. I believe we included it in a newsletter, and like when we sent out information about our event, we put, we're accepting donations, and we put it on Facebook.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I still have so many books, which is awesome because we have less that we need to get for this year when we host it.
Does anybody else have any more questions for Mary Kate?
I do. Mary Kate, how did you make the choice on what books were appropriate for your event?
Oh, that's a good question. We really only took out a handful of books. Mostly it was stuff that wasn't necessarily in good condition.
So you didn't receive like a 50 Shades box set?
No, no.
So just using like your best judgment kind of thing. And
yeah.
I guess, and if all else fails, you could reach out to your librarian or your admin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions?
If you were to do this for middle schoolers, would you tailor it to be longer or shorter as far as their attention span?
I would say probably, you could probably do it about the same amount.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, even at the high school level, I think even high school kids would enjoy it, really. And because it's something that people can leave if they're, feeling overwhelmed or something, and it's just not for them. Anybody can leave the event. I think an hour and a half is a perfect time slot.
Okay, hour and a half.
You can always come late, or it's nice too. It's like if you're not there right on time, you can always catch up or start the next round, which is nice too.
That makes sense. Thank you so much.
We always do pizza, like we do pizza meal deals before our events. And so people can order and have their dinner there. So a lot of families are like eating too during the whole thing. We get cheap pizzas, but you know what? My family loves Little Caesars.
Those do. So what do you make any profit on it, or do you just offer it as an option?
No, I think ours are like, I think we sell them for $15 for one large pizza and 4 drinks. the pizzas are like $6.50. They get an option of soda, water, or Capri Sun. And Capri Suns are like 40 for $10. So, if they're buying those, a lot of families will get those for their kids.
If somebody wanted to bring food, is it forbidden or something like
No, we
this
don't
is
do
just an
no.
option?
We're chill about that. If you want to bring your own, that's fine. We'll have people come in with like Chick-fil-A and stuff. We just offer it as a way to make a little bit of money, but also as like a service to be like, hey, come on out. You've got dinner here and you don't have to, worry about that side of things.
And so the event though is free.
Yeah, the event itself is free.
What was like the takeaway after? I'm sure you got amazing reviews.
People were excited and happy to, we had a great turnout. That first picture on the side was a lot of the people we had, the group we had there. So it was a great turnout, and I think people were excited to do it again. So I hope we have even more people come this year. I think they really loved it. And again, people like free stuff and winning. So especially getting to take home a book at the end of the night as well. I think people really enjoyed that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mary Kate. We really appreciate you sharing this with us. This is such a great idea, and your school is so lucky to have you and the rest of your team, and your kids, I'm sure, absolutely love this. Thank you again, Mary Kate. And if anybody has any questions for Bingo for Books and you want to reach out to Mary Kate, you can reach her at president@spanpta.org. And if you have any general ideas of your own that you want to share, or just questions for programs, you can reach out to me at cmail@scpta.org. Thank you so much for watching, and visit the scpta.org/programs for more of these as they come out. And you can also check scpta.org for under Leader Resources. We have lots of webinars and information for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.